At first glance, the opening word of the Torah, Bereshit, seems really simple. It's usually translated as "in the beginning," and it just seems to mark a time, like a poetic start to a story about creation. But in Old Hebrew, especially in the language and symbols of the Torah, no word, especially not the first one, is ever just poetic. The Hebrew in Genesis isn't just fancy language, it's a carefully built system with hidden meanings. And when we look at this single word with the right tools, letter by letter, how it's put together, what we find isn't just the start of a story, but the whole plan for everything that's going to happen. The secret to understanding this meaning is in how the word itself is built. Bereshit has 6 letters, and in Hebrew, letters are never just random. In their oldest form, what experts call Paleo-Hebrew, each letter was originally a picture, like a drawing of something real, a house, a hand, a flame, an ox. These pictures weren't just for decoration, they were useful symbols chosen for what they stood for the connections they showed. In Old Hebrew, a word isn't just a fixed definition, it's a structured way of showing relationships, a system of meaning built from smaller systems. And when we look closely at the word Bereshit, we find that it splits neatly into 2 halves, 2 groups of 3 letters each. This isn't by chance, it's on purpose. The first group is made up of the letters Bet, Resh, and Aleph. In their original picture forms, these letters pointed to very real things. Bet was drawn like the floor plan of a tent or house, showing limits, boundaries, and structure, a place where things can start to exist. Resh was drawn as the side view of a human head, standing for form, who you are, the start of knowing yourself. Aleph was an ox head, meaning strong, controlled power, energy that starts change. These aren't just poetic ideas, they are real connections. And when we think about how they connect, what kind of system they form, we find something amazing. The structure comes first. Limits, boundaries, the idea of a clear space. This is what Bet brings in. But a space alone means nothing unless something takes shape inside it. So Resh comes next, who you are, awareness, the start of different forms. Yet who you are without energy is still. The system ends with Aleph, strength, focused power, the ability to do things that matter. These 3 parts form a connected circle. Structure allows who you are brings out strength, and strength makes the structure stronger and confirms it. Together they form a group of coming into being, an active area where form comes from structure and energy brings form to life. This isn't just a way of talking about creation, it's a plan for creation. It describes the presence of something we might call God as creator, not as an outside being, but as the way things fit together within this group, a structure that creates who you are and who you are that brings power into a clear purpose. Now we look at the second group, Shin, Yod, and Tav. Again, we start with real symbols. Shin, drawn as teeth or flames, means changing, making better, judging, the ability to break down and reshape. Yod is a hand, meaning purposeful action, the ability to step in with care and purpose. Tav is a mark or cross sticks, originally a sign of finishing, a boundary, a final stamp that means everything fits together, an agreement or an end. These aren't random symbols. They hold a second system of meaning, one that fits with and finishes the first. Where the first group talks about things coming into being, the second talks about finishing things. Changing, Shin, isn't messy here. It's paired with Yod, the hand, which means that change is guided by a plan. Judging isn't punishment, it's making things better, shaping form through planned action. Yod, in turn, moves towards Tav, the mark of completion. Every act of purposeful action leads to some clear result, some ending, some agreement. And Tav circles back to Shin. Change achieves a clear form when it settles into something clear and whole. This second group names a second role of the divine, not as the creator, but as the judge, the one who refines, guides, and brings things to an end. Again, not a person, not a character, but a structural role within the way the word works. Now we step back. These 2 groups, Bet Resh Aleph and Shin Yod Tav, aren't just connected. They are designed to mirror and complete each other. The first group ends with Aleph, the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet. The second ends with tav, the last. Together they form aleph tav, a pair that shows up again in the very same sentence, hidden in the grammar word et, which Hebrew uses to mark the direct object of a verb. That little word is often skipped in translation, but its structural presence is very important. Aleph and tav, beginning and end, source and completion, creation and judgment. These two letters quietly hold the sentence together, and they quietly frame the word Bereshit itself. The word starts with structure, ends with everything fitting together, and holds within it the whole journey from beginning to purpose. So what is Bereshit? It's not a timestamp. It's not just in the beginning. Actually, it's a system of meaning, a map of connections, if you will. A puzzle solved not by looking at its surface, but by finding its inner logic. The first group shows how will and form come from structure, the act of creation. The second group shows how that form is guided towards clarity, the act of judgment. Together, they hold both sides of divine action, starting and finishing, call and response, the shaping and the completing of the world. And this is what the first word of Genesis teaches before anything has even begun. That reality itself is structured. That creation isn't just one event, but a system, a field of connections where structure gives rise to who you are brings out power. Power acts with purpose, and purpose moves towards everything fitting together. It's not a sequence, it's a logic, and it's all hidden in 6 letters. This isn't just a way of speaking, it's not a story with a hidden meaning. It's structural language, the language of creation itself, shown in the first word of the Torah.